there are 3 types of infections that you can get. So bacterial infections, viral infections, and fungal infections. You can also get parasites in the skin, but it's like scabies, but this is more rare. The bacterial infections, the viral infection, and the fungal infection is very, very common in TSW. The bacterial infection is, for dermatologists, easy to see by eye. They are trained on this and they can see when something is infected. You have different kind of infection. The ooze can be infected. You can have Impetigo, which are these little, it looks like zits. They come everywhere and there's milky liquid inside. It's pus. And it can spread very fast. This is Impetigo. There's also infection that can happen deeper in the skin layer. And so you don't see pus or any yellow on the outside of the skin, but the skin is just really red and inflamed. So it can also be infection deeper in the skin layer. Dermatologists can recognize these kind of infections. And also the viral infections they can recognize. So viral infections are oftentimes the herpes kind. Now, most people have herpes in the body, and people will get a cold sore once in a while. But you can also get herpes simplex or herpes zoster, where herpes zoster is a little bit more severe than herpes simplex. They are clusters. They are clusters of little bumps with not a milky liquid in them, but a clear liquid in them. And they're super itchy and they're sensitive to the touch, and they can also spread very fast in TSW skin. And it gets problematic when they come to the face, because around the eyes and around the mouth, it can become dangerous for the body. But now we go to fungal infections, and these are really problematic. Why? Because the dermatologists do not recognize them on TSW skin. So first of all, TSW skin is red and flaking, and this is why you cannot see the spots with the naked eye most of the time. Oftentimes you really can't see them. So I had a fungal infection in my TSW skin, and I know many people have. When I came to Thailand, even Jay, who is highly trained and he has hawk's eyes, could not see I had a fungal infection going on. So only after my second treatment with the cold atmospheric plasma, you could see that the skin around the fungal infection was clearing up more fast, and then you could see I had fungal infection spots going on. Now, on a normal healthy skin, a fungal infection is very easy to see. They are round in shape. It's called also ringworm. Maybe you know the term. The inside of the ring is 80% of the skin color, and the outside is about 100% of the skin color, and it has an edge around them. So doctors, GPs, dermatologists can detect them really easily. But on topical steroid skin, the skin is red, the skin is flaking, and also they don't have the round shapes anymore. Why? Because of scratching. If you start scratching the skin and scratching the skin, so the shape of the fungal infection, it completely changes on topical steroid skin. Then you also have that the infection gets, because the skin is so impaired and there is a lot of scratching, the fungal infection can spread very widely. So on much bigger areas than dermatologists are trained and used to recognize fungal infections. So oftentimes they are completely overlooked by the dermatologist, and this is very problematic for people with TSW, because the first step is that you need diagnosis, and the diagnosis is difficult to get. Even when you do a skin scrape, it can be that the skin scrape is done on the wrong places on your body, and then they're inconclusive. The result is negative, while you still can have a fungal infection going on. So this is the first thing that's difficult about fungal infections. The second one is the treatment, because TSW skin cannot handle the ointments very well. So if you go topical antifungal creams, your skin will flare. And this is also not very known by dermatologists. So you have to go for the oral ones. But even with,
Orals, yes.
So, but even with the oral medication, you can still flare if your skin is not strong enough. And then we have another problem with fungal infection. You can kill the fungi, but you can't kill the spores. If you try to kill the spores, you're going to be dead before the spores. They are very, very, very strong. In a normal, healthy skin, the spores will be pushed out of the skin. So usually within 4 to 6 weeks, the spores are pushed out of the skin by skin cell proliferation normally. But in TSW skin, we scratch. And what happens with the spores? They sink deeper into the skin layer again. So it's very difficult to get rid of fungal infections in TSW skin because of the scratching. It can take a really long time, and you need to be treated over a prolonged period of time. Now, Jay is using a protocol that is more friendly to the body and more friendly to the liver. So he figured out the life cycle of the fungi. So you kill the fungi 1 week with oral medication, and then you can have 3 weeks pause of the medication. Because the baby fungi will start growing, but they can't make spores yet. And before they are old enough to make new spores, you kill them again with oral antifungi medication. So in this way, you don't have to use it the whole time because it's tough on the liver. And you can use it many rounds safely. And this way, the itchiness gets lower and lower over time. And then you can get rid of the fungal infection. But it's really a difficult problem for people with TSW.